you, sir.
Thank you.
Don't worry, you're not going to get to it. You guys are the lucky ones right there.
Ah,
I used to sit up front.
Uh-huh.
All my students next time. Apple juice.
Hey. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Andrew Copeland. Before you even take a sip of that beer, you guys have begun your craft beer experience. That beer could be the best beer you've ever had your entire life, but unless the rest of the experience is up to par, you may never go back to that brewery again. Once again, my name is Andrew Copeland. I run a company called Secret Hopper. We were founded in May of 2017, and we're very proud and passionate about what we do. We're a mystery shopping company for craft beer businesses. I spent the last 17 years running a food service in the area and outside. We work events at stadiums, arenas, and it's about more than just a concert. It's about more than just an event. It's about more than just the food on your plate when you're at a restaurant. It's about more than that main attraction. It's about the overall customer experience. And that is why Secret Hopper exists. With over 5,500 breweries currently operating in the United States, we dare the breweries and ask them, besides beer, what sets themselves apart? As the market continues to grow, and it is, it's going to reach a maximum capacity. That is why we exist. We want to make all breweries survivors. That is our goal. And we don't care about the beer. We're going to work under the assumption that the breweries are doing that right. What we care about is the other half of the operation, the side that might often go overlooked while they're concentrating more on the alcohol side. And what we do, we truly believe that an outsider's perspective can bring surprising and beneficial information to any craft beer business. And the way Secret Hopper operates, we send undercover beer drinkers into these craft beer businesses. Whether it's a brew pub, a brewery, a craft beer bar, we send people like yourselves, detail-oriented people, out there to collect information. Now, when we select these Secret Hoppers, we select them based on a variety of factors. We select them based on their age, their gender, their level of beer drinker, and a detailed writing sample they submit at the time of their application. So whether you're a brewery owner who's looking for a 21-year-old female brand new beer drinker's perspective, or you're looking for a 57-year-old male beer nerd, we can send the exact type of secret shopper into the brewery you're looking for to collect that information for you. Now when the secret shoppers go into these businesses, they're paying attention to 25 specific points that we give them ahead of time. They deal with their first impression of the business, comments on the atmosphere, comments on the observation and the customer service they received while they were there. Questions like, was the outside of the business clean? Did they receive recommendations? How long did it take to get served? And one of my favorite questions is, when they were checking out, were they asked if they would like to take beer to go? We've conducted over 150 Secret Hop mystery shop visits so far, and we have found that only 13% of the time are brewery staff asking these customers if they would like beer to go. I don't know about you, but after I've had a couple beers, someone asks me if I want to take some more home, I'm probably going to say yes. But we found, a simple question like that, and that's just one question out of 25 on our questionnaire. That's a very, very simple way these breweries can make more money and build their brand that they're not currently doing. We believe that question alone is worth our service if that brewery can, better themselves from doing that. Now, when Secret Hoppers go to the visit, they're going to order a pint of beer, and they're going to order a flight of beer, followed by spend about an hour of time at that brewery. Then when they finish, they're going to complete that questionnaire online. Then we're going to submit that questionnaire to the breweries following the visit. Now with breweries, we recommend they have a minimum of 4 visits per month for a minimum of 3 months. That first month, all we're doing is we're seeing what's going on inside that brewery. That second month, after the first month, we're going to make suggestions based on the results we collect, and see if they make those changes that second month. That third month, we're seeing if those changes are actually really sticking. And we recommend, like I say, a brewery have a minimum of 4 visits per month for a minimum of 3 months. That way we can see exactly what's going on. Now, it is our goal to help breweries improve their customer experience, find new areas of opportunity, monitor changes in their customer habits, and then grow from this feedback we receive. At the end of the day, we want to help them fine-tune their tasting room, increase their bottom line, and make every customer a repeat customer. Since launching 4 months ago, we've grown to have 55 clients so far. We've received great feedback in beer publications. We have our first paid advertising, was mailed out on Monday. But like I said, so far we have 55 clients. We're really proud about what we do, and we're looking to grow. For us, the way we make money, we charge, yes sir?
No, you're half a minute.
Oh, okay. Our biggest challenge so far has been getting our right information in the right hands of the right people at the brewery. We've reached out to thousands of breweries via email and have received very few feedback from those we've reached out to. Although the clients we have so far are very proud and enjoying our service so far, and they're signing on for more than 3 months. What we want to do is find ways to better reach other breweries, that way we can grow our company. Thank you guys.
Question.
Yes, sir.
So it's a 3-month subscription that's renewable?
Yes, sir.
What do you charge something like that?
We charge $40 per visit, and half that money essentially is going to pay the secret shopper to go to the visit, so $20 comes back into the company.
Do you reimburse them for what they buy?
It's not a reimbursement, it's a flat payment after their visit. So they're not getting reimbursed for the beer, they're merely getting a $20 payment sent via PayPal after their visit. But that essentially covers the cost of the beer and the flight. So if you were to go to a brewery anyways and order a flight of beer followed by a pint, we're essentially treating you to that. So it's a fun way for craft beer lovers to go do what they already love doing, but get paid to do it.
And how many people go to a brewery within that 3 months?
We ideally like to send 12, 4 per month.
Or is it the same person?
No, we don't send the same person. One person is not allowed to go to the same brewery but once every 3 months. So it's 12 unique individuals we're sending out over those 3 months. That make sense? Oh, yes.
Based on this discussion about the 4 month, the 3 months, as a former retailer, I would recommend considering that first month, tightening that window a little bit, because you're not giving recommendations back to the brewery for a whole month. So if I hire you to come look at my brewery, it's going to take you 4 weeks of 4 different people. You really could send 4 different people within a week or 10 days, it's because I want feedback, and so the feedback is the part that I'll crave. So even if I pay that amount of money, whatever period of time, then I start getting feedback.
That's a great point.
Thought.
Sorry. What we typically do, we schedule the first 4 visits within the first 2 weeks, and we send them to the breweries immediately. We found that if we send one report and say it's extremely negative or extremely positive, the business might overreact.
Yeah.
So like I said, we try to do it 4 in the first 2 weeks. We allow the full first month just in case we have a secret shopper who doesn't show for whatever reason. That allows us the extra time to make sure we can get it in there. But we are trying to get it to them as fast as we can. So I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I think you should charge more money.
I agree.
I mean,
The reason we haven't,
I understand your view,
okay.
but, and I also think you should change your pitch. If you're really increasing revenues walking out the door 13%, that's what whoever's running that beer place is concerned about. So I would directly put an email together with proof of that from testimonials or whatever from 3 or 4 breweries, and then get on LinkedIn, pay the $1,000, even though it's overpriced for the premium, and you can contact all these people directly and ping them with, hey, here's a testimonial. Because bottom line is money. If you can't make me more money, I don't care. I mean, if I'm running a brewery, that's the bottom line. And if you're secret shoppers, I don't know what they charge, but I think you're awful low. What do secret shoppers charge for?
Slightly more than what we're charging, but not a
They
whole
charge
lot.
more money, man.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot more, surprisingly.
You're not gonna make any money at 40, you're talking about $160 a month, right? For 4 months. I mean, your customer, you're gonna burn through your customer base before you make any real money.
Well, there's 5,500 breweries currently there. Our goal is to obviously work with more. We want it to be a numbers game, so get lots of clients and have it pretty automated.
I think you should stretch out the time limit, because
Okay.
4 months, I mean, a business consultant, I don't know what they charge, but a lot of money, and you're providing real data. I mean, I think Karen's right. I mean, charge a little more money, stretch it out to 6 months, get them data quicker. Because, I mean, if you're turning 13%, what's a pint to go cost?
No, we're not turning 13%. It's 13% of the current breweries are asking that question about. Yeah,
Yeah, but how much more are they selling? That's the bottom line, is using your services, how much more are they selling opposed to what they're currently doing? Get that in a testimonial, and that's your lead in. Because everything
I agree.
else, I mean, great, you're gonna do all this for me. You know, I mean, I can survey my own customers, but if you can get them to where you're increasing revenue, you got a done deal, raise your cost. I mean, $500 for a Vice for 4 months, or whatever it is, isn't a whole lot of money.
I think one of the challenges we're facing, we're the only company doing this in the craft beer industry right now. There's no competition whatsoever. And breweries and these creative business type brewmasters aren't used to paying someone to do this. A lot of breweries so far are saying, why can't I just have my brother, my cousin, my friend? And part of our challenge is teaching them that this is something that will be very, very beneficial, and that's a struggle we're facing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would just do a testimonial, here it is, either take it or leave it, I mean, and raise your cost. I mean, if it doesn't cost somebody something, they don't see value in it. If you have to argue about value, I mean, if you have to argue about price, you're not proving value. If you can raise my walk out the door by 6%, what's a brewery gonna make over a month? Because that's all free revenue.
I agree.
I mean, that's just.
Right.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you.
And I agree because, you know, when the prices are too low, people feel like it's cheap. And so they think that it's not good enough. Your price needs to, I like your $500 package idea.
Yeah.
Is a thing to consider, you know, these are thoughts just to consider and really do the numbers. So of these 13% that ask to do the suggestive selling, I mean, that's selling 101. You can't even get past chapter 1 on that. But so the people who suggestive sell, how many customers purchase of that, and then what is the dollar figure increase that brewery saw on a weekly, monthly basis, and that's money. That's money you are throwing away out the window.
I just have
The
to,
numbers,
I just need the breweries to provide these numbers to me, that way we can use it as the testimonials that you were mentioning.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of it's great, but Karen's right, numbers are everything to anybody in business. I mean, I don't mind spending $5,000 on something if you're gonna tell me I'll make 50 out of it.
But you can get these numbers. You can get some numbers from some breweries of, you can get, I can talk to you later about how you can find these databases, at least to get some benchmarks of what people are selling and what the numbers are and what that would convert to be able to talk the talk and sell what you're doing. Because when it converts to real dollars, and I'm investing $500 to make how many thousands more, it's like, yeah.
And we are just finishing up our first 3 months with a few clients. We are seeing success in this, so hopefully from the first 3 month period, we can get some more testimonials that we can use to help push this and charge more. Yes, sir.
Are your charges tiered, or is it just the same for the 3 months?
It's a 3 month package. We will do individuals mystery shop visits. Like if your brewery wanted to do just one visit, we would charge $50 for that visit just for one, but it is kind of stuck at $40 per
Don't
visit.
do that.
We're doing a couple add-on costs.
Don't do that. Just do a straight $500, here it is, you want it, don't do it.
For $500, how many visits would you recommend we do, or keep it at?
I mean, if you
Four.
sometimes you can motivate a purchase by giving people packages to where they see value in buying, you know. In other words, if you just have packages, they'll buy the middle priced one
Okay.
instead of buying the cheaper one, you know. So it's a purchase incentive. If you say, yeah, if you're with us for 3 months, it's X amount. If you're with us for 6 months, it's X amount. You'll save money if you go for 6. And my other question is, once they use you, will they come back to you, or is that it?
Ideally, yes. There's a lot of turnover in this industry, so they'll see the value on our service and keep it on not just 3 months, but stay for the year. We've had a lot of clients that have started about 3 months ago, and the majority of our clients that started 3 months ago are still staying on with us after their 3 months.
So how long would they stay on as a customer?
Hopefully forever. I mean, that's the goal, to make our service valuable. That way they can always receive feedback on their business, because this is something that we believe will always be beneficial to breweries, especially as the industry continues to grow. Yes, sir.
Hi. First off, all the recommendations are good, but you're shooting in the wind right now.
It's a little hard to hear you.
You know, you're shooting in the wind right now. All the suggestions are good, but you're shooting in the wind. How are you getting the word out that you have this service? What's your marketing?
We've done a lot of social media marketing on Facebook and beer groups. That was our first initial thing that we've done to get the word out there. We've emailed almost every brewer we can find with their address online. My wife and I have spent a lot of time doing that. And we had our first paid advertisement come out. It was mailed on Monday in the New Brewer, which is a big trade publication for breweries. That was mailed out Monday. It should be arriving any day at these breweries. We're really hoping that is one that takes us off. We were also featured in Beer Advocate. Sorry.
So far today, you know, not counting the article, that would be a separate thing, all that adds a separate thing. What has been your response rate on what you've done so far?
Oh, extremely low. From emails, we're barely getting any responses back. So it's been very, very low. We
First
found.
off, you've got a bigger issue. You know, again, I'm not, the packages are all great ideas, but unless you get some takers, they're saying that at least pick up the phone and call you so you can negotiate with them.
Yes.
So that's one of the things I would recommend that you really concentrate on is the branding and getting it out at least enough that you can get the data that you can use.
And that's our number one challenge. We're having trouble getting the information in the right hands, and that's the number one reason I'm here today, honestly, because we believe we do have a great product, we want to charge more, but we need to get the information in the right hands. And like I mentioned, we've done Facebook, social media, emailing, even in a beer magazine, but we still haven't gotten the response we need. So that's, yes. Julian?
So my question is what you're doing is providing market intelligence to the breweries. Why are you, I understand why you're focusing on the breweries, but that seems like it's such a small number of customers that you're gonna be able to gain. Have you thought about eventually trying to do something else to kind of, while that may be your principal focus, to help sustain the business?
Our next goal is to go into wineries. There's over twice as many wineries as there are breweries, so we want to make success in the brewery market and try to transfer to the winery side of the business is our goal. Yes?
A couple two-tier questions. One is, just curious, how are you qualifying your secret shoppers, number one? And number two, as a business, if I'm a owner of a brewery, and I've used you for 3 months or 6 months, whatever you've decided, or we've agreed upon, what's gonna stop me from doing it myself after that?
Two good questions. The first question was how we pick out our secret shoppers. We have an application online where they fill out just basic demographics about themselves. We have them fill out a question describing a recent experience at a restaurant or brewery. Then we also have a question why they are qualified to be a secret shopper. We don't want someone who just says, I love free beer. We want someone who gives, a full, essay about why they enjoy customer service, about what went right, what went wrong at a recent experience. Those are the people we're selecting. At this point in time, we're essentially handpicking them based on their location and their writing samples. Of course, we also select them based on factors the brewery's looking for. Like I said earlier, whether they want a brand new drinker or someone who's, very well seasoned in drinking. We put all that together, and that's how we select the secret shoppers. And with regard to a brewery doing it themselves, we believe that we provide more unbiased individuals than you can get just by asking around. Anyone who you ask to do it yourself is going to have already have some bias towards your brewery. They're going to be more pro your business.
Well, I'm just saying, as a company, why wouldn't I turn around and hire my own people to
Because
be
they're
my
your own
own
people.
secret shopper?
Because they're your own people.
Well, they wouldn't work in the brewery. That's their job. They would just be the secret
But they're
shopper.
paid by the brewery.
Right.
They will talk to each
I
other.
don't want to say bad things about their boss.
No, it's not about their boss, it's about the way that you're conducting business. Nothing about the boss, it's, and obviously if the boss is not doing his job,
But
oh yeah, you
but the way the
should
brewery's
critique the
running
boss.
is reflecting on the boss and the people who are paying them. So why would they, hey, I spent all this time creating this brewery, now I've hired people and they're saying bad things about my work.
Well, that's true, but, you wanna hire them and you wanna tell them, I need the truth because you're helping me. So if I'm the problem, then I need to get out and we need to find someone else to be in my spot.
As much as they want to give the truth, someone you might ask, we believe that people we hire are completely independent and they're more likely to give the truth. So that's what we're pushing. The likelihood they're not going to be biased.
Have you gone to any of the local craft beer events?
Well, my wife and I went to the Virginia Craft Brewers Fest. We talked to there was 80 brewers there. We made our rounds throughout the entire day. Through talking to, I estimate about 50. We had about 15 that were pretty interested, told us to reach out to them following the event. Out of those 15 we reached out to as well, I think we locked in about 5 clients out of those we talked
And
with.
did you have a booth, or were you just there?
They
as
didn't allow
spectators?
booths actually for vendors. So
Okay.
we wore this shirt I have right now. We walked around to every single booth, introduced ourselves, hopefully to the tasting room managers and the owners, and gave a brief 1-minute pitch to them.
So how many, you have 55 clients and you picked up 5, so that might be an
And we're in the
average
process of signing on a
better.
couple more ideally.
Okay,
But even still, the results weren't what we hoped for by
Right.
doing that.
Well, one thing is persistence. First of all, they have to hear about you to trust you. And numbers are big deal. Once you get your, you said you have 5 customers, you have to have pre-service sales and after-sales service sales. Put them together. As you cannot show their numbers, so you have to get a percentage. This is what the percentage they were doing. This is what they were doing later. This is the cost of food is one of the things that you have to pay attention. They are going to look at their sales and cost of their beer, basically. And then if there is stealing going on, then that's the best indicator of that. Then you show it to the next client that this is how many percent we save, and this is how many percent we saved with the labor. Now, if the brewery is not busy, they have to put some people like us on break. You know, controlling these will control the parameters. If you can show it to the next customer, then they will be more willing to probably work with you. And the other thing is, everybody, like somebody walks into one room, they'll see different things. You have to really train your shoppers, secret shoppers. You can have a YouTube video of what a good manager, managed store is doing, what a bad managed store is doing. Is there trash in there? Is there like brooms laying around that shouldn't be in there? Or is there any health issues? You take a video of these, and then you send this video to your shoppers so they know what to look at. Because if you are not in the restaurant business, you are not going to know what you are paying, you are looking at. And you mentioned one more thing. You said that like some breweries want new beer drinkers or old beer drinkers.
Yeah, they want all demographics of individuals to visit their business.
Why does it make a difference?
Because a 21-year-old who's never been to a brewery before is going to have a different viewpoint than, say, someone who's been going to breweries for 30 years. So they want viewpoints from feedback from all walks of life.
So are they questioning the quality of the beer or just quality of the service?
Not the quality of the beer whatsoever.
That's
We're
what I thought.
concentrating on the other side of the operation. We're going to assume the beer is great.
So I would say that you have to get more experience because 21-year-old is all about the beer. The other people are going to be price and the beer. So and you need some people that will actually not go there for beer. They will go there for watching what's going on. And secret is the key. If they know that they are working for the company, the managers make friends, and there's usually general managers if you have multiple stores, or one store. The manager is friend with the shift manager, and they are friend with the workers. That's gonna be your problem. So they are not gonna do the real thing. Actually, they are gonna hide their mistakes. So it's a great idea having it externally.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback. Yes.
One thing about the brewery experience is how the bartender or the brewmaster is handling his people. And having a new beer drinker, you want to make sure that the person behind the bar is able to explain and go through. Yeah, most of them don't like doing flights. So if you have a bartender that doesn't want to do a flight, you might be that experience will probably turn a person away from the new experience of going to craft beers. I've been in some where some older people came in and said, "Hey, do you have any craft light beer?" I mean, that's like, whoa, what's that? So, but yeah, it's that initial experience to bring the people back too.
And one of the reasons we ask about a flight, we have the customers order one, because we want to see, well, the breweries definitely want to see what kind of suggestions their staff is giving.
Right.
And that's one reason they like that question.
And if they're like a mentoring type of experience for the new beer drinker too.
And we do customize our reports as well, or our questionnaires as well. If a brewery doesn't offer flights, we work with each brewery to make sure the questions reflect the experience they want to get feedback on. So we're willing to change our questions for each brewery that we're working with. Jerry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think you'll have trouble getting 21-year-olds who are eloquent and all that. And the rationale is, you'll look on Yelp or you'll look at any of those things. There are folks who are really into doing that. Yeah. And, I've written reviews for Pilot for like 30-something years, and I look at those, and some of them are extremely well written. So I think there's enough of a population out there from a recruiting standpoint that if you select, with a writing sample, you're going to find folks who can do that easily.
We've had 2,000 people apply, so we don't have a shortage of people wanting to get feedback. So
2,000?
that is not the issue. It's more so getting the breweries as clients. That's our biggest challenge. Yes, sir.
What you're concerned about established secret shopper organizations seeing you pop up and go, we've already got the system, we got this, let's just add that.
Well, we are the only company out there right now selecting their secret shoppers based on their level of beer drinker. No one is doing that right now. And a lot of secret shopping companies don't want to work with just one brewery. They want to work with businesses that have multiple locations. So we're almost a small guy in their playing field. We're willing to put the time in to work with individual breweries rather than saying, hey, we're only going to work with someone who has 10 locations, so it's worth our time. But as we increase our prices, they could step in, but I believe we have a competitive advantage. One, because of the selecting them based on level of beer drinker, but we're also really proud of our name. We think the name Secret Hopper is very relevant in the community, so we're pushing that as well.
One recommendation, it costs you about $20 to send a secret shopper, right?
Yes.
So why don't you send one to the breweries that you pick? You know, pick 10 breweries, send people there, and have a brief report sent to them. This is what we see, and there is more to it. Would you like to work with us?
We have actually already done that.
Okay.
With our mailing list already, there are people who really believe in craft beer and they want to make a difference. And we sent an email out saying, hey, would you be willing to fill out, a report on your own that you wouldn't be paid for, but if you happen to be going to a brewery this weekend, we'd really appreciate it if you could fill it out. We got about 50 of those reports filled out just for free. We sent them to the breweries along with information about our service. Several of the breweries responded back, but for the most part, people aren't responding. So we have tried that, and it's very, very frustrating that these brewery owners and the brewmasters just aren't responding to emails. I mean, there's so many questions right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens.
A few things. One, I think a good aspect that you have also, so to get them to respond, email, you're gonna have to pick up the phone too. You're gonna have to call. That was my other question.
Okay.
You said you're mailing these postcards. Are you tracking them to see when they get delivered?
We
so
haven't
the next
mailed
day
them
you
yet.
can
It's
call?
all been through email.
Okay, but if you do mail them, you want to follow up with a phone call. So emails are easy to open in the middle of something and close and completely forget.
Okay.
It's going to take a couple of times hitting them, but you got to push on the pain point. So like what Murat was saying, you really need evidence of, look, only 13% of these companies are asking for beer to go. This is how much money this brewery made in a month after we showed them all this stuff. This is how can I help you make money? Where are you struggling? You have to really figure out their pain point and then figure out if you can match it. And a lot of that comes from talking. Business owners are more likely to answer the phone, usually, sometimes, depends on the person. He's not, I am. But that's one thing I would do. And secondly, like if I've been running a brewery for a while, like Smart Mouth or Connor, what was the first one here? They were here for a while.
Yeah.
And now there's all kinds, right? Green Flash just opened, there's all kinds of breweries. Maybe I need to not only increase my customer experience, but I'm looking for a new customer base. And I don't know how to attract them. I attract the original adopters and the people that bring their friends, but maybe I want to attract 50-year-old women, I want to convert them over here. And you can provide that aspect of, look, this is what they're saying you're not providing, why they're not coming. That's another area for opening up like customer base when you're in competition. So you can provide them another customer segment that they currently aren't reaching or don't know how to reach.
I agree, and we want to do that. One of the challenges we're facing with regard to doing that, a lot of these breweries are very satisfied with being satisfactory. And that is very frustrating to us because they feel, hey, we've got a full house every night, or we're selling our beer, we're doing a good job. That's enough. They don't realize basic business concepts. That just by asking someone if they like beer to go, they don't realize that something like that can take them from just right here to all the way up there. And that's been a challenge so far, but we definitely want to help them build their customer base. Yes.
That's
Right,
what Mark
you keep
said.
saying, you said a few times you have no competition. You do have competition. The competition is what they've been doing prior to you. So your competition really is the brewery owner. Because their mindset, that's your competition. So you need to start, I know it's frustrating, but you gotta start looking at as a competitor on the field. And how do they get around? Everything you've read you saying, of building it in the multiple, you've gotta have proof, this is how I helped. Whatever you need to do to get that in front of it. You may also be going after the wrong market niche. You may end up, wineries may be much more successful for you. So somewhere along the line, you're gonna need to think about when you're gonna make that pivot, if you have to.
Yeah, like I said, we're only 4 months in, so.
Yeah, well, no, this is a great time.
Serious.
Somewhere
Yes, sir.
So why did you start this business and what are you hoping to see?
Well, I started the business for a few reasons. My background is working large events. I've always seen the overall customer experience. And I believe that is a huge part of anywhere you go, just creating that customer experience to make people repeat customers. And I love craft beer. So I did this because I was at a point in my life I wanted to do something that I could enjoy and make a little money in the process of doing it. So that is why I started this. And I would obviously like to grow it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The research you've done that's told you about the 13% on the beer to go, don't give that away.
Exactly.
In other words, we know the secret to raising your bottom line that only 13% of breweries are doing.
Right.
Come to us, we can tell you what it is.
Put in
I mean-
gallons of beer.
Amen.
Yeah.
Listen to this guy.
Liters of beer, put in liters of beer. The restaurants we dealt with, did this many more liters of beer. Don't tell them why.
Yeah, don't give that
Don't
away.
give
Because
your,
if you're
don't
giving
give
that
your
away,
questions
then they
away.
Don't
can,
educate
they
them.
can make, they can make adjustments without
Yep.
even calling you in.
You wanna do something like, we can increase your bottom line by 10%, find out, but you gotta say it in a way they're gonna understand, like leaders, that's a good idea.
Testimonial.
Yeah.
That way you're not even giving information away.
And
Make
ideally,
sure
after our
bottom
first
line
few
is-
clients finish their first 3 months, we're gonna have some more testimonials we can share. So
Right.
that's the goal. Yes, sir.
What is the employee turnaround? Do you have any idea on that? Like how often the employees change?
I don't know if the breweries can give me that number, honestly.
Well, if you're a business, you can give that because that's one of the things. If they are like restaurants, they change so many servers all the time, so they need constant monitoring. So if brewers are, some businesses they are dedicated. They get there, they are happy. They, even if they don't get out basically. But if brewers are like that, if people are changing, the servers are changing, then you have a long-term business basically. You can
And that's
because
what
you
I'm
need to
banking
train
on.
everybody
Yeah.
and control everybody.
I'm banking on that. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Alright, 2 suggestions.
Okay.
As a business owner, I think since you're targeting a pain point of an underperforming brewery or a brewery that wants to do better, as the business owner, I wouldn't feel that you have anything to offer other than essentially Yelp reviewers coming in. So I think a $5,000 package where you'll come out and have a 3-day consultation with the brewery, I'd pay that if I'm experiencing pain point. Second one is marketing. Sending mail postcards probably are going to get disregarded.
Okay.
But if you send the brewery owner a package with full of their competitors' beers, and a note like your competition is doing better than you or something like that, motivate them to contact you to focus on that pain point. So
Get creative, send them apple juice.
yeah.
You
So
guys don't like your apples. Someone likes their apple
And
juice.
with this, to continue on what Dave is talking about, because that's the thoughts in my head. Okay, so you look at me for a month, my brewery, then another month, and you talk about what they should do. My word that's in my head is training, and I think that's where this package, you come in and train them. I mean, because who's gonna train them? You can identify these issues, but who's gonna teach the people how to overcome that problem, and what's their problem, how can they do that? So that could be part of, was Charlie, who said we should have 3 packages, like, and
tier.
that's your
Tier
that's
system.
your top level package. The guy that's got the pain, that wants to overcome, that wants you to just come over and take care of it, because I'm too busy making beer. You come in and train my people on top of it, and then do this maintenance or whatever. I mean, whatever you want to package into it and make it into a package. But I agree with the guys that are saying that it needs to be a dollar amount in a package, not a price per thing, because it gets too nitpicky. We just want to know, what's it going to cost me, and when do I have to pay the bill?
And that's our goal. We just want to get ourselves credible as an authority in giving advice to breweries. Because right now, I'm just a guy with customer service experience who likes beer. I want to prove ourselves as an authority in the industry. And so I would love to charge $5,000 and fly out to West Coast and give them advice to fix their brewery, show results. That's
Yeah, but nobody knows you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
true. And I don't. Besides you guys right now, I'm not telling anybody that.
Business is fake until you make it.
Right.
But nobody, when you say you're gonna do something, until you do it, you're a liar. So fucking do it. I mean, that's the bottom line. At some point, Karen just wants to sell beer. If you go, hey, I'm gonna turn your numbers like this, she does it for 4 months, and you made her $6,000 in revenue, and she's like, holy shit, you can help me. As opposed to a business consultant that's coming in and charging you, I don't know, $10,000 a month, some of these guys try to charge. For what? You're catering it to that business. You have all the market analysis data. The bankers over here, they can tell you how much the data costs. I mean, they're paying a shitload of money for analysis on companies. So, I mean, you're the expert. Quit telling anybody different, man.
Oh yeah, that's what I tell them.
Yeah.
It's all about perception, remember that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is this, there's a distance factor when it comes to marketing and valuing somebody. Deal with people on the West Coast first, because you're on the East Coast, and he's some big sage on the East Coast, because there's a scripture that says a prophet is without honor in his own hometown. So the further you get away from your own hometown, your aura just increases.
And that's kind of what we're experiencing. The majority of our clients are outside of state.
There you go.
So,
There you go.
yes, ma'am.
Well, the other part of that, of all this thing is, if you're price it higher, the package is higher, that automatically
Value.
adds value, puts you as more of an expert. Look, I'm worth this kind of money, and that speaks, true or not, that speaks to the buyer saying, oh, if he's charging $500 or $1,000, it's gotta be worth it. Nobody else is doing this, so let's try it.
So I have a question how I fix the problem that I've already created. So when we initially launched, we emailed breweries telling them about our initial cost. So if I want to approach the same breweries now, but say, hey, we're charging 5 times as much, how do I?
Introductory offer.
So much money.
Introductory offer.
That was before we started, now we're up and running.
That's
Now I'm
right.
an expert,
Yeah.
and we've got all this data,
Once you
and
give
this
a
is
dollar
what
amount,
it is.
the rest is bullshit. Look, give a dollar amount. That's all anybody in here wants to know is how much money you're gonna make.
That's
Right,
right.
here's the odds, to answer your question. People you've emailed, how many really opened up the email?
That's
Or
it,
Reddit.
that's right.
So you gamble, you never apologize in this regard. You never apologize, you never say, don't pay attention to the man behind the
Don't
counter.
mention it.
Yeah.
Just, you never apologize for that, but I agree 100% of going outside of the area, because it's gonna boost you up. But exactly what David and Brittany are supposed to do, put that package together and make a bold statement. We will improve your just that one little statement. One simple thing you can do right now that will improve your sales is buy blank.
And the best line you can use on a restaurant, I'm telling you, when you get there, ask them what the most expensive thing in a restaurant is. Give them a couple minutes, let them throw some shit out there, because they're not gonna get it right. It's an empty chair. And that's real estate that you should be making money off of every damn night. Why aren't you making money off of that? And immediately, they're gonna think you know what you're doing.
10 grand a
And
year.
as long as you increase what they're doing now and just make it better, man, you're not responsible for it. Don't worry about it, charge them.
You can even come in and count up all the empty chairs, and be
Yeah.
like, this is costing you this much
There
money
you
right
go.
now, and I can save you by this.
Or
That's
increase
These
your
simple
dollars.
practices can help you improve upon that.
You need to
Use
know
a
the
graphic
dollars,
picture.
yeah.
That's a
Come up
great
with a
idea.
graphic picture. Put that, what's the most expensive thing, and then just have a picture of an empty chair sitting at a table.
That's good.
Or empty
And it's-
table,
or
yeah.
an empty
On
table.
average,
Something like that, just graphically, a picture, what's the most expensive thing on your, bam, and then say, this is how we fix it.
And we increase you by X. And that's all you said. You don't, I mean, you said too much information, man. I'm not gonna read that shit. I mean, more than a paragraph or two, nobody really reads, right? I mean,
Time for that.
All right, last question. What can 1 million,
Oh,
oh.
Yeah.
sorry,
I'll let you go.
sorry.
I'll let you go.
One,
This is a positive one.
Okay.
So when did you start?
4 months ago.
In
Made
4
it
months, in 4 months, you've gone from 0 to 55 clients with no history,
No
no
advertising.
testimonials, no
That's pretty
Paid
advertising.
advertising.
There's a reason, I mean, everybody in this room has heard of Coca-Cola, yet Coca-Cola is constantly beating you over the head with advertising because it takes a while for it to sink in. I frankly wouldn't look at it as you got a problem. I think you're doing okay, it's just maybe not as fast
We
as you
wanna
want
do-
to grow.
We want to do better.
I know
Yeah.
you do, but 55 clients on a market that's never existed before in 4 months with no data to use to pitch with,
Yeah.
I think is pretty good.
Thank you.
So I
So
would be
a
happy
slow,
to-
steady wins the race too.
Yeah.
All right, last question. What can 1 million cuts do for you?
Like you guys have been answering my questions already and giving me questions to answer for you, that has been very, very beneficial for me. We're just trying to find better ways to reach our potential clients, and you guys have given me a lot of great strategies on how I think we can do that. So that is our #1 goal, to reach the clients better, and then sell them the expensive packages. So.
That's right.
yeah, believe in those packages too, that's.
Yes.
that's the
Oh
next
yeah.
step.
When I talk to the clients, I'm the #1 expert on what
There
we
you
do.
go.
So.
Yes. Awesome.
No, I
Good
really,
job.
really appreciate all the great feedback, guys. I think these
Moving on this stuff for,
Next put beer in too if you
but,
want.
cool.
but yeah, I
Might
drink
be beer
beer
here,
out
too.
of
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it keeps you going.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come on, don't forget, next week, we're over at Old Dominion University, so see you there. And we'll email your parking